So now let's take a look at the soul. You are a spirit, you have a soul, and you live in a physical body. And I actually drew it out again, except I made a mistake and I didn't have time to change it while, when I made the mistake. So you'll see this right here going here from here. It's the same thing. Perception and reasoning is the same thing. So here's the thing, this is what we represent. This is a chart showing what a representation of who and what we are. We are spirit. This is just what we are. I put in a circle, but spirit is expansive, it's sumptuous. Okay. Spirit is, it's just who you are. It is who and what you are. Spirit. God is spirit. We are made in the image and likeness of God, therefore we are spirits. But we also have a soul, meaning that we have what I like to call awareness and consciousness. I'm going to talk about the three types of consciousness in just a moment. And then we actually live in a physical body. In the physical body is the space where we experience the world, where we experience life, where we have relationships, and we have a actual physical body. But also in our physical body, we get to experience having money, we get to experience having not having money, we get to experience having love, and we get to experience not having love, we get to experience having a career, and all of those things. This is where the things take place. Things don't exist in the soul, but things are what's the word, things manifest. Things don't exist in the soul, but things manifest through the soul. And we're going to get into more of that when we get into this particular course. But things exist, and we experience things in the body. And because we experience things in the body, then a lot of times what most people do is we allow the world and the body experience to dictate what happens here in the soul. There's this thing called the spirit shift that I talk about a lot, where you have the power to make a decision, to choose to shift your mindset, shift your soul, shift the faculties of your soul to actually operate in the spirit realm, and live your life a spirit-led life. And it's so possible. So with that, what is the soul? So let's get into the soul. Your soul is, again, what you possess. It is not what possesses you. You, the capital I, you, the I am you, is spirit that has a soul and lives in a body. Well, your soul consists of three types of consciousness. There is your conscious, meaning what you are aware of. Like if you're looking around and you are, awake conscious, then that's the one consciousness. Then there's the unconscious. The unconscious part of you is neutral. This is how you can drive somewhere without really paying attention, or physically just giving it your full attention. You can, or you can drive somewhere and you're on autopilot. That's basically what the unconscious is you are just not, even though you are awake, you're not cognizant of or conscious of, pardon me, excuse me, I just said I should have got my water and I didn't, and my throat sometimes get dry, pardon me. And then of course there's the subconscious. The thing about the subconscious is the subconscious, it takes everything at face value. So the consciousness makes suggestions to the subconscious, which is why we talk about beliefs all the time. When I say, when you speak your affirmations, when you speak what you believe, what you're doing is you're reprogramming the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind, if you tell the subconscious mind one thing, it's going to hold on to that. If you consistently tell it, not just tell it one time, but if you consistently tell the subconscious mind one thing, is going to take that at face value and it believes it. So your conscious mind is your objective mind, but your subconscious mind is your pardon me, is your subjective mind. And so what happens is, based on our awareness, we make suggestions to our subconscious mind. This is what auto suggestion is. saying words to yourself and making suggestions to reprogram your subconscious mind. And then, of course, um, there are eight faculties of the soul. Eight faculties of the soul. And they are your mind, which is what you think, your will, which is your decision, your power to decide, make decisions. Number three is your emotions or your feelings, or what we sometimes call your energy in motion, because that's all feelings are, is energy and vibes. You know, we say, oh, I get a bad vibe from that person. That means that you got a bad energy from that person. Okay, so that is the third component of the soul. The fourth component is your intellect. What you know intellectually or what you don't know intellectually also plays a part in what in your soul. Next is, and I put these two together, so there's reasoning and perspective. So reasoning and perspective are the same thing. You draw a conclusion in your mind, and then that conclusion sometimes becomes true or real to you. So that is number five. Six is your beliefs. Your belief simply is what you accept is true. Pardon me. What you accept is true. And whatever you accept is true, you make possible for you. Scripture says all things are possible to those who believe. All things are possible. All things good and all things bad are possible if you believe that is going to be or exist in your life. This is why we have to check our belief system. And I always teach that the one way that you can deprogram your belief system is tell yourself, I no longer believe that. Like physically open your mouth and say, I no longer believe that. I now believe, and speak the new belief into your mind, your body, but also into your subconscious. So that is the belief. The next faculty of the soul is your imagination. You have the power to imagine whatever you want. It's so funny because I looked at a meme today that said that the Jeffersons, the Jetsons predicted the future, and they showed George Jetson in having a meeting on a computer, and they said they called it Zoom, and then they called the son was having a telehealth appointment. They called it telehealth because he was seeing the doctor via, the mom was doing exercises via a screen. And so it was like it was saying that they predicted the future. And I was just thinking about that, like, wow, somebody's imagination was so vivid that even then they created a cartoon, what, 40 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, however long it's been, 40 years ago for sure, 40. Um, but, and then here it is, 40 years later, people are living that type of life. But that's because of the power of imagination. By your imagination, you can create something out of nothing, literally create something out of nothing. And think about the creation of the world. In Genesis chapter 1, God said and God saw. In order for God to say it, God had to first image it. Image it. And put that image in action by speaking words. Speaking words. So imagination is super important. And then of course there is your memory. Your memory, of course, we know is based on an interaction that you had that you hold on to. Now, all of your memories are stored in your nervous system. Actually, it's stored in not only in the brain but in the nervous system. And so this is why a smell can spark a memory, or this is why a rainy day can spark a memory. Any little thing can spark a memory because your nervous system, your body actually holds on to the memory of it. And then your body, literally, what a memory can do is your body can cause you to react to that thing. And so the reaction sometimes could be seeing the experience all over again, or even living the experience in your heart and living the experience in your mind. So I will redraw this with a correction and put a snapshot of this here inside the group. I'm not going to repost the old one that I did have. because the old one is scratched up and it's on my wall. It's when I say scratched up, I mean I added more to it and I taught more from that old one, so much so that I'll put a fresh one inside of the group for you to see it and you can study it later. So